he allowed his inner Trump to come out. I've never worked with John Boehner. Truth of the matter is, I don't know the man. I've met John Boehner 2 or 3 times in my life. If I have said 50 words in my life to John Boehner, I'd be surprised, and every one of them has consisted of pleasantries. Good to see you, Mr. Speaker.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we've talked about, the problem with that, as we welcome in the Malzberg panel, is that from a Seattle Times article, June of 1998, but Ted Cruz, Boehner's attorney, said the fundraising letter demonstrates nothing, blah, 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 blah. He was John Boehner's attorney. He never met the man. He doesn't know him. Never worked with him. Doesn't know much about him. I'm just telling it what it says here on the panel. Julio Rivera, Newsmax insider contributor and host of the Julio Rivera Show. You could catch that at Spreaker.com. And Rick Ungar, senior political contributor with Forbes.com and co-host of Steele and Ungar on SiriusXM. All right, Julio, I know you're a Cruz supporter. First of all, Boehner calling him the Lucifer in the flesh. React to that and react to if this is accurate. If he turns out that he did represent him as an attorney, how does that fly with I never met the man?
Well, as far as representing him as an attorney, he didn't necessarily have to have interactions with him directly, depending on what capacity he was representing him on. As far as calling him...
spoken like a true attorney.
Well, I'm not even an attorney.
Rick could attest to that eventually. Go ahead.
But as far as the angle, as far as him calling him Lucifer, I mean, Ted Cruz did stand up to what was going on in D.C. Is in particular the Cromnibus bill of a couple of years ago. After we had flipped the Senate over and we already had control of the House, Boehner pushed to try to get a bill passed in December, which funded Obamacare for the entirety of 2015. So Cruz fought against that, and for that reason, maybe that's why Boehner called him that. But that's just Boehner being a left-leaning progressive, at that point.
All right, Rick.
I like that. Boehner is a left-leaning progressive. What can I say? These kids, can't we all just get along? You know, this inner scene Republican warfare, it really makes me sad, Steve. It just breaks my heart. I don't know. Look, of course they knew each other. It's impossible to believe otherwise. I certainly can respect that Julio thinks that Ted Cruz should be president of the United States, but it's no big secret that pretty much nobody in Washington can stand Ted Cruz. I hope he has a dog. I really do, because nobody likes this man.
I like him. Hey, you know what? The voters like him, and the reason that the voters like him
not so much.
Well, hey, he's going to get there. Watch it. But the fact of the matter is, when he makes campaign promises, he goes to D.C. with the intention of fulfilling them, and that's why the voters like him. That's why
Carly Fiorina blasted him in 2013 for his filibuster, saying there's nothing admirable about going to a hill and take on a fight you know you can't win. She said, I'm sure he got a lot of money and name recognition out of it. And in January, she said he'll say anything to anybody. So I don't know what kind of team they make.
But you know what? That set the table for them winning in 2014. Everybody that ran as a Republican
I'm not saying it was right or wrong. I'm saying what she said about him. Anyway, let's go on to this. Rasmussen poll showing Hillary and Trump just about neck and neck, but with very small percentage of voters, 30-something each. And 24% of voters say they'll either go third party or just not vote, Rick. What does that say?
It depends. I couldn't tell. I took a look at the poll. I mean, unfortunately, less than that vote in actual elections anyhow. I wish we got 75% of the Americans voting. I don't know if this is actually of those more likely to vote or not. It's also very, very early. I think there's going to be a lot of people who don't like Trump who are going to end up voting for Trump. There are going to be people who don't like Hillary that are going to end up voting for Hillary. You have to wait until we get closer to the election.
Guys, let's go to our phones and check in with Rafael from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Hello, Rafael.
How you doing?
Good. Say hello to Julio and Rick as well.
I can't hear him. Hello back at you.
Okay, go ahead. What can I do for you, sir?
Well, let me tell you, I'm a Hispanic, and I fully support Donald Trump. I think people need to listen to what he says and not listen to what the liberal press tries to paint him as. The liberal press and his political opponents try to paint him as a racist. There's nothing racist about Mr. Trump's message. The idea of bringing good jobs back to the U.S., having the companies come back, create the economic stability that the U.S. had and is losing that is a message that transcends all races and, for that matter, gender.
Well, Julio,
Obama-
Rafael, let me ask Julio. We got 30 seconds, Julio. Respond.
Okay, as far as Donald Trump's message not being racist, I actually agree. I mean, I think that we have to be strong on immigration. We have to be strong on making sure that we're not letting dangerous refugees into our country. But the fact of the matter is, if you actually listen to all the quotations that Donald Trump has made regarding the immigration issue, he's going to wind up deporting a lot of people and letting them right back in if they haven't committed an additional crime other than just coming in here illegally.
Right.
So he's not really the man to solve that issue.
Rafael, thank you for calling, and thanks to Julio and Rick. Up next, Malzberg's Media Madness.